Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon to the MCU? I've seen the question asked a lot, especially in recent memory, because Marvel Studios has now made the Netflix shows canon. So let's talk about why Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon. With proof, of course. Bring proof to this argument. So if the same people that were convincing you that everything is Mephisto and then were out there crying online about how Marvel doesn't have the balls and how Daredevil and the Netflix shows are not canon, are now also telling you, nope, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't canon, while they were wrong on both of the other fronts, why do you still believe them, considering there is now active evidence that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon? So let's just go over some of the basic things that literally spell it out for experts of cinema, I guess. So do you guys remember when Daredevil went toe-to-toe with the Dogs of Hell? Yes, that happened. It was a pretty great fight, pretty great story that played out in the episode, delivering a memorable sequence at that. So that's canon to Daredevil, right? Well, here they were in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which featured Lorelei and also had the appearance of Sif. You know, Sif from the MCU? Yeah, hey, look, that's another thing that connects the whole canon status. Speaking of that, who remembers Micro from Punisher? Well, it just so turns out that the expert hacker guy that's on the run has a friend named Quake. You know, Quake the Inhuman straight up brings up her guy Micro, and this was the first hint we got at them making the Punisher series. Speaking of Chloe, let's bring her up again. Chloe Bennet continued to play the character and tie to other elements of the MCU, because we know that the character was very much orphaned at an early age, and one of the central plot elements is her learning where she came from and who her parents were. But, of course, during the course of her discovering this, we find out that she went to the same orphanage as Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil. Further connecting the dots, there's plenty of mentions of little things that are going on in the bigger Marvel world. There, of course, was plenty of reports of what happened with the Hulk and, of course, the Avengers, the incident. But if you look at right there, it says Cybertech. Okay, let me zoom in on that so you can see it better. Cybertech, right? Cybertech, very present and central to a major story that took place in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was dealing with Project Deathlock. Speaking of that, during Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there was a crucial storyline in Season 4 about a massive blackout that happens that affects most of the world, but specifically New York was hit hard with major blackouts. Well, it's directly referenced in Season 3 on newspaper clippings that there was massive blackouts in New York, referencing the events of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Also, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. featured Crusher Creo, aka the Absorbing Man, in his TV appearance. Now, Crusher Creo has a interesting history in Marvel Comics, but specifically in Daredevil, the series, we see that it was Matt's father who boxed Crusher Creo. So that's it for just some of the Easter eggs. There's honestly plenty more, but it's kind of pointless to keep going over this because people are just going to keep moving the goalpost. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon up until literally the point it's not, where they start jumping through the multiverse, and then it's just a completely different story, and they never end up back in the MCU proper. So the first few seasons are canon, but the moment they touch the multiverse stuff, it's officially elsewhere on another branch. So, yes, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon.